Um, I'm happy at least some of you have attended. See, I have just sent an appeal. Can you read that? I will read the appeal I have sent to all the students. Special appeal to the students appearing for Federal Bank's interview. Please attend today's online session positively from 7 to 8 p.m. conducted by expert banker Professor V Subba Rao. We will discuss very relevant and important aspects about Federal Bank. See, what are the points I am going to cover today? Federal Bank's management discussion analysis report. Generally, what happens, when you appear for any interview, students simply go through a website and whatever is given in the website, everybody repeats. Just imagine, supposing, say, they have called students from 5 universities or 5 management institutions. Everybody has done that. So, what is so special if you tell them what is there in the website? But if you really want to do some critical analysis of crucial aspects about their, of course, mission, vision, and who is MD, everything will be there. But over and above that, about their highlights, performance highlights. And all these highlights, even though you may get some, brief explanation in Google or elsewhere, if you go through their annual report, that's one of the most crucial report, particularly few important aspects like I mentioned here. Federal Bank's management discussion analysis report. Every annual report will contain, one is director's report addressed to the shareholders. Another one is the banks, here it is banks, even it may be a company also, management discussion analysis report. So they will take all crucial aspects and then they analyze all significant factors where they have done exceedingly well, what are the gaps, and particularly about their regulatory aspects, disclosure norms, and their future targets, projections. That is one. Secondly, conference call answers provided by the management, top management like CEO, CFO, MD, chairman, and executive directors. These are the questions asked by the shareholders or maybe stakeholders, and they will be giving the answers also. So that gives you a real idea of what are their goals, objectives, their plans, their products. So we have to, the students who are appearing for the interview should read these things. And then you may say, Professor Rao, they may not ask such high questions because after all we are only entry level officers or frontline managers, whatever. But then supposing get an opportunity, generally they ask, though they may not ask every student, tell me something about our bank, somewhere in some context, supposing you mention, sir, I have read your management discussion analysis report, and I have also read the conference call answers, and I have gone through your audit report, and particularly about your regulatory compliance aspects, risk management aspects. They will feel happy. Here is a student who has really gone into the aspects of crucial factors of whether it is company or bank's performance. So today I thought I will be discussing this. 1. Management discussion analysis report. 2. Conference call answers. 3. Performance highlights. Particularly yesterday I was mentioning, last 1 week I have been talking on banking analysis. Particularly there are some concepts like NII, GNPA, gross NPA, net NPA, interest spread, CASA. Okay, so and then risk-weighted capital, then Basel requirements, and then RBI requirements. These are some of the concepts, which unfortunately, in most of the management institutions, they will not be able to cover. They cover from academics point of view, from examination point of view, whatever is there in the textbook. And most of times I have mentioned, even in my recent article published in Oxford, UK, where the name of the article which I already shown. But of course, for you students, it is not relevant. It is most relevant to the management as a whole. The topic is qualitative initiatives for value-based education, wherein I have stressed upon. I have covered about 20 crucial aspects. One of the aspects is the textbooks. Some of the textbooks, I'm not telling, I'm not undermining the textbooks written by Indian author, but the type of textbooks which you select, where you will get very challenging questions. For every concept that you learn, particularly in maybe banking or marketing, even HR for that matter, there are situation analysis. There are sensitivity analysis. Now, for example, in the bank, there is a test, stress test, back test. So those textbooks, which are generally written by practitioners, the global top banks practitioners, they don't simply teach concepts. For every concept, they give you this situation analysis. Perhaps I think Akash was mentioning yesterday, even in your group discussion also, they are not giving like some political or general topic. Nowadays, they give caselets, small cases, situations. So all these things will be in a better position to answer if you read their entire report. I'm not telling you should read entire 300 pages annual report. I told you, particularly director's report, it may run to 25 to 30 pages. You need not read all the 30 pages, number one. Number two, management discussion analysis report. It covers all the crucial aspects of that particular firm or the organization. Then performance highlights. Performance not only in terms of finance, of course, for you finance students, financial performance is very important, particularly all those ratios, etc. But apart from that, I mentioned here some areas, like environmental aspects, corporate governance, CG, corporate social responsibility, then risk management, regulatory compliance, particularly with reference to Basel 1, Basel 2, 3, because we are talking about bank. Okay, so you should be able to try to understand. I know within 1 or 2 days it is not possible for you to understand all the practical aspects. At least, whatever you are able to understand and which you will be able to articulate in an interview, that certainly impresses the interview panel. And I hope you have gone through my video where I have mentioned, apart from your conceptual clarities and even in-depth knowledge in the subject, in the core subject, in your specialized subject, what they expect is different type of skills. I have listed down about 10 skills. All your knowledge, let me tell you very frankly, your knowledge of concepts and theories and definitions, at the most, maximum, in my video I have discussed at the end, at the most medium it gets the weightage of only 25%. Out of 100, you may get only 25%. So what you have to focus on, what you have to demonstrate in the interview, now you are going to appear. I'm really happy, many students I'm told, almost around 20, you have cleared aptitude test, you have cleared GD, and now PI, you are going for PI. That's what I was mentioning with Akansha. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Now I was telling Akansha, we'll be discussing something different, which perhaps other college students may not focus. So you have to make a difference. Look at this, what I have written in my next. Let me show you. Now, the role of marketing officers, or even financial, specialist. I was mentioning in some of my sessions, though you are a finance specialist, believe me, yesterday also I told you in my class, they will not put you in any very crucial department where you have to take financial decisions. because it needs a lot of in-depth analysis, application skills, understanding various apps, like I was mentioning from Infosys or from Cognizant, like for example Pinnacle is there from Infosys. So to understand those applications, core banking solutions, particularly we are talking about bank today, that takes a lot of time. So they will not, certainly they will not risk with new recruiters. So believe me, whether you like or dislike, in the initial stage, even for financial students, they will be giving marketing only. So that's why today I thought I will be covering all these marketing aspects. I told you, as far as your concept is concerned, I am already here also written. Okay, let me read one. The role of marketing officers, new recruiters, and banks' expectation, what they expect from you. Then salient features of popular products and services of the federal bank, because today we are talking about federal bank. What are their most popular products, and what are some of the creative, innovative products or services which they have brought in compared to other banks. For example, we are going to know, I am talking about my bank, Bank of Baroda. I don't know whether you are aware of wearable, instead of a debit card, you wear a watch. That watch, it has a lot of apps in which it will tell you your pulse rate. It will tell you maybe BP rate, or your oxygen rate, all those things. And then supposing, let's say you go to a hotel, and supposing say you have to make the bill, and you simply show this wearable, and it's here. No pin, no ATM pin, and all that passwords. No problem. And this is highly secured also. So now this is one of the in digital banking most creative, innovative product which we, Bank of Baroda, we are going to introduce. Similarly, a federal bank would have come out with a lot of new digitally oriented products. So you must know at least one or two products about bank, so that in case they ask, even if they don't ask, as I told you must know how to steer the intro panel to your area of interest, and then talk on those things which are most popular as far as this particular bank is concerned. For any bank, for example, tomorrow you may go for ICICI Bank or HDFC Bank, you must know what are their most popular products, services, its merits, demerits, and if at all there is any gaps with you, as you are young, energetic, creative, innovative student, you can suggest, nothing wrong. Sir, I feel one more point can be added there. Even in their most popular products, there is bound to be some area for improvement. It may not be proper on my part to mention here, because this will be public video if at all post it. Last time when I went to England, I took travel card from ICICI Bank. I came across a couple of problems. Though there were some problems for me, I could not go to my bank. We too have, ours is known as India's International Bank. We have our own travel card, but somehow, for some convenience sake, I could not visit a bank, and I took ICICI Bank. It may not be proper for on my part to tell that it had some problems for me. Okay, so one or two products, what are more significant products. Somesh or Akansh, if you are hearing me, I am not here to give you any lecture on any subject today, because now we are going to appear for interview in the next 3 days. Though Sumesh would not have applied for this, but you may go for some other bank. But for whatever I am talking today, it is applicable for all bank interviews. Okay. So pick up one or two most popular products of that particular bank for which you are going to appear for interview. What is that I have written in the next paragraph? In-depth knowledge of the above aspects will make you more confident. See, they may or they may not ask. See, for example, if there are, let's say, 20 students, they may spend hardly 6 or 7 minutes for the student. And within 6-7 minutes, they are not going to ask you 20 questions, concepts-based questions, they are not going to ask. So, They would like to find out where your worthiness, whether you have that all that. I'm not telling only leadership skill. There are so many other skill, application skill, computation skill, statistical skill, problem solving is a skill. They would like to find out. So even if they do not ask any concept based question, you should be capable of demonstrating your core competencies, your core skills. Okay. Akansha was asking me, sir, what should I read? Akansha, is not a question of reading any theory or definition. They are not going to ask that, because you already see in aptitude test you have passed very good. I congratulate you. And GD you have successfully come out of the GD process also. Now only PI is remaining. And I am told even personal interview is also over. So they may not ask any personal interview means about your qualifications, your background, and your other competencies. Okay, so they will try to test your analytical and critical skills. Okay, in-depth knowledge of the above aspects will make you more confident in successfully answering any related questions. Number one, or even if they don't ask the question, enable you to steer the interview panel to these areas, demonstrating your knowledge that will impress the panel. And the other day I was also mentioning, please take your project report which you have done in your, don't forget to take that project report, provided you have followed all the rules of how to write a project report. Okay, including that plagiarism report you have not copied from anywhere, and you have made some implementable recommendations, and your in-depth data analysis. That's certainly a proof to tell the interview panel, sir. Recently, in fact, on the other day, Alok and Somesh were talking about their internship. I was very much impressed, and particularly Alok had made a lot of recommendations. So also Somesh, implementable recommendations, their observations, they are really worth considering. So take your internship project report, and even imagine supposing there are some drawbacks, and in fact I suggest my students, you please, I'm sorry to say this, you just cut those pages. Generally what happens, your institute or your university, generally, though there are experts, they would have all the PhDs, they would have guided you properly. But then if your report is not very impressive, not presentable, still you will get 60 marks, 70 marks. They will not fail you. Okay. So if at all you find out any gaps in your project report, cut those pages, replace those pages with, as I was mentioning, so for example, you have made simply 1 line, 2 line recommendations. Particularly if you are a finance student, your recommendation should include cost benefit analysis, and how it has to be implemented, what will be its merits and demerits, what are the other alternatives available. You have to make very thorough recommendation, so you can still add 1 or 2 pages and carry that book. Okay, so I mentioned here later on I will provide you my book on fundamental concepts of banking operation. As I told you, now they are not going to ask all this. Here and there, one or two questions may be there, that's it. But then if they are asking only 2 questions, and if you are reading, let's say, Kotler's 1000-page marketing book, you will get a headache, and you spend a sleepless night a day earlier. Second day, you look tired and pale. Don't do that mistake. That's the reason I was mentioning. I will give you. Fortunately, I told you I'm qualified in all the 4 areas: banking, finance, marketing, HR. That apart, I have practiced all these things in the bank for 30 years. So based on my experiences, I have prepared what I call capsules. You call it capsule, book. like last minute you can just digest that capsule. I have prepared on marketing also, which covers all important aspects of your Kotler. And I have covered, of course, only banking. I have made it 300 pages because it contains a very, very vast subject which covers all these latest areas of NPA and DRT, SARFAESI Act, and all Pradhana Mantri yojanas like Mudra. In fact, there were some questions. How much do you sanction to a Kishore? or Tarun. Then in Mudra, there are 3 types of loans. So I have covered all those things. That is why it has run to 300 pages. Okay. So please read that book, particularly finance student, and even others also, marketing students also. Just have a browse through of my book that gives you, all basic aspects and latest. I have updated as of 2021. I have updated everything. I have updated. Like it may be like repo rate or RBI, reverse repo rate or bank rate, whatever, everything I have updated. Please have a browse through. So Akansha, just for your question, which asked me, sir, what should I study? So don't go on studying any textbooks now. In fact, many times in my sessions, I have told you, stop reading textbooks. Once you complete your third semester, there is no point in reading textbooks. Read some research reports. I've already mentioned in my earlier video also, research report of KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, or S&P, Modi's, latest research report. And say, for example, you are talking about a bank, take their research report on banking sector. Supposing you are going for, let us say, pharma, their research, these people, they have come out with a lot of research report on every sector, and that too from a global perspective. So please take care, and don't do now. Now only 2 days left for your federal bank interview. For next interview, prepare yourself. Stop reading books. That's why I told you, see here I have written. I don't know whether you will be able to really read. Later on, I will provide you my book on fundamental concepts of banking operation and also 500 MCQs. The moment I mention 500 MCQs, I know you will run away from me. Or ask sir ka class ko nahi jana. Kisko chahiye 500 MCQs? My God, just what that gives you confidence. And I have based on importance, the priority. I have written in such a way. If at all you want, you can read that particular set. Say there are 8 sets. Okay. You can select any one set or 2 sets. It's not necessary. But then it is like like a dictionary. You can preserve it. That also I have updated up to 2020. I'm sorry, I have updated only 2020. Only 1 or 2 changes may be there. I'm going to share that with you. Okay. The only thing is don't expect answer for all those things immediately. The reason is, if I give answer, chalo mera paas book hai, book answer bhi hai, you become complacent. So I'm not giving you answer for all the 5 MCQs. What I expect is you form a group. Now 16 of you are going to appear for an interview. Okay. Now form 4 groups. Each group take 2 set number 1, set number 8 sets I have given. Say make 4 groups. So group number A take 2 sets. Set number 1, 2, group number B, set number 2 and 3, so on, so forth. Then arrive at a consensus answer for all the questions. Don't think they are all only fundamental basics. I have covered all operational aspects also. Operational aspects of banking in that 5 MCQs, including all this I told you. This is the latest Bankruptcy Act, SARFACE Act, and Ombudsman, banking customers grievances redressal agency, everything latest I have covered, and even changes in RTGS, NEFT, many changes have taken place, I think from Feb. So all those things I have covered. Okay, and try to guess answer whatever you. Then what I want is group wise, if at all you really want to be updated in everything as far as banking is concerned, it also contains marketing aspects also, products also, and some general knowledge also. Then you can send me answers in Excel sheet. Group number 1, final answers. So then group number 2, final answers. Then I will see wherever you have committed any mistakes, then I will correct and send it to you, so that you will take it seriously. And once you try to attempt all these things, then you can exchange within your group, 4 groups, all the 500 MCQs. This covers 100% of banking. 100% of banking from entry point of view. Otherwise, I told I have 14 volumes, each volume running into 1500 pages. 14 volumes I have, like, because foreign exchange separate, trade finance separate, then MSME separate, SSI separate, corporate separate, then retail loan is separate. Each banking is so vast. I have got 14 volumes with me. But when I said it covers everything as far as your interviews are concerned, they will not ask beyond this, because I have seen, I have also been in the panel for a couple of recruitments, because they know you have never worked in a bank. They can't ask practical questions. They only ask whether you are updated, whatever some amendments that has taken place. Say, for example, in Negotiable Instrument Act, so far the check was valid for 6 months. After 6 months, we used to call it stale check. Now that has been amended. The 6 months period has been brought down to 3 months. So are you aware of this, some latest changes? Now earlier we used to give interest, let's say on a savings bank account, 10th to last day. 10th to last day. So let's say maybe 30th or 31st to 20th February, and we calculate products. Based on that minimum balance, we used to give interest. Now Reserve Bank of India has changed that rule. It is based on daily products. So today you have 10,000, tomorrow you have 20, third day you have 8. So we take daily products and accordingly work out interest. That is for the benefit of the customer. Reserve Bank of India has made these changes. Okay. So at the most, they may ask some such questions where some modification has taken place. For example, in interest, based on interest, earlier, what is the base? We used to call it base rate. We used to call it PMLR. Then now it is linked to base rate. What is repo rate? So some changes. They may ask. However, compared to the traditional interview questions, my last paragraph I have written. This is a message I have sent to all today. I don't know how many of you have joined now. I can't see you now. Compared to the traditional interview questions, where they simply used to ask, some concept, in finance, let us say they ask some on ratios. What do you mean by debt service coverage ratio, or what is a quick ratio, or what is a turnover ratio, profitability ratio, EPS, etc. No, they're all very direct questions, and interview panel also know you come prepared for that, because you already read that and you will again reread and come prepared. There is no point in asking such direct questions. Nowadays, I have written here, the pattern of interview has undergone a tremendous change. Lot of changes, because the traditional interview, earlier I used to tell them only, okay, we just remember these ratios and remember what is, for example, operational profit or financial leverage, operational leverage. Now, believe me, they don't ask this type of questions. Yeah, having said that, if they ask, you are lucky. Okay, conceptual, fundamental question. Tremendous change has undergone, focusing more on critical, analytical, situational analysis and problem solving skills presently. Okay. Now I have sent this message. Come, spend an hour with me. It will not go as a waste. 1 hour spending with me. Every day you are spending. Okay. Some of you I know last. I think we have been doing for last 15 days. Sumesh, last 15 days, last 21 days.
No, sir. It is here by 1 month.
Look, 1 month, every day we are meeting 1 hour. Every day. So imagine, had you attended my session for 1 month, you would have become an expert banker. You would have taught me. That way, Alok and Sumesh, they are really interacting, and I really appreciate and respect really their knowledge. Fantastic knowledge. So Akansha, actually you have missed all those things, and who have not attended, you have really missed, I have not covered anything from the textbook. All, contemporary issues we have discussed. Why NPA happens. Alok and these two students have contributed so much for my discussion also. That would have helped you a lot. See, they may not ask this question. I'm not telling your interview panel is going to ask, but then that makes you so confident. Oh, I know everything. Everything on banking. Everything as far as your level is concerned, as student is concerned. Okay, come spend an hour with me. To not go as a waste. I have sent this message today. Make a difference compared with that of another competitor. Now, I'm not telling other college students are dumb people. They are only you are better. But then each one of you, your approach should be different. So that I mentioned in my video of top 20 winning tips for group discussion. We also panel also decides about the group behavior as a whole, entire psychological aspects of the group as a whole. Anyway, now let me close this file. Today I can't see Alok also. It's okay. Now whatever I have planned, I will show you at least. I'm going to share this with you because within 1 hour I will not be able to cover all those things. But at least you can go through that. Not necessarily for this federal bank. It may be for any other bank. I will show you some of the documents which you have to go through. Let me share.
Yes, sir.
How come it is not showing? Maybe in sharing I have to go. I go for screen. Complete this. Sorry, I'm taking some time. Why I'm not able to share this? I'll just check out. I opened all that. Just give me a second.